Hi, I'm Parneet Jaggi, and today we're going to be talking about the famous essayist and novelist V.S. Naipaul, whose essay, Seven Rules of Writing, is going to be the point of discussion in the next video. Seven Rules of Writing is a brief treatise, is a brief essay written by Naipaul for the beginner writers, actually, to be more effective, more emphatic, and more clear in their writing skills. Now, before we look at the essay, let's have a look at who V.S. Naipaul is. Naipaul is actually the eldest son of a second generation Indian who immigrated to Trinidad long back. So we see Sir Vidyadhar Suraj Prasad Naipaul. He was born in Trinidad in August 1932 and was educated at Queen's College, Queen's Royal College, Trinidad, and after winning a government scholarship in England at the University College, Oxford. Later, he also briefly worked for the BBC as a writer and editor for the Caribbean Voices program. He moved to London very soon in 1954 and then married Patricia Ann Hale in 1955. And we look at his career, we see after initial failures as a writer and having undergone phases of depression, Naipaul finally emerged as a successful writer with the publication of the book The Mystic Masseur in 1955-57. And we see his first three books are comic portraits of Trinidadian society. While The Mystic Masseur won the Mail on Sunday and the John Llewellyn Rhys Prize in 1958 and was adapted as a film with a screenplay by Carol Phillips in 2001. And this book gave an impetus to his career and catalyzed his popularity as a writer. Then we have a collection of short stories, Miggle Street 1959, which also won a Somerset Maugham Award. And then finally, the novel that we know of as the most popular novel, the acclaimed novel, A House for Mr. Biswas, that came out in 1961 and which was based on his father's life in Trinidad. His first novel, set in England, Mr. Stone and the Knight's Companion in 1963, won the Hawthornden Prize. Now this novel was the first novel which was set in England actually. And the subsequent novels developed more political themes and he began to write about colonial and post-colonial themes and so themes based on these societies. These novels, the later novels, include The Mimic Men, which was the winner of the 1968 W.H. Smith Literary Award, In a Free State, which won the Booker Prize for Fiction, Gorillas, and A Bend in the River, that was set again in Africa. Then the book The Enigma of Arrival is a personal account of his life in England. Then Away in the World is a formally experimental narrative that combines fiction and non-fiction in a historical portrait of the Caribbean. The book Half Alive was published in 2001 and followed the adventures of Indian Willie Chandran in post-war Britain. And The Magic Seeds continues his story. V.S. Naipaul is also the author of a number of works of non-fiction, including 3 books about India, An Area of Darkness, written in 1964, India, A Wounded Civilization, written in 1977, India, A Million Mutinies Now, came out in 1990, 2 books also about Islamic societies, Among the Believers, An Islamic Journey, that came out in 1981, and Beyond Belief, Islamic Excursions, that came out in 1998. Now, Naipaul was a prominent figure in the later part of his life. He was knighted in 1989 by the government. He was also awarded the David Cohn British Literature Prize by the Arts Council of England in 1993 and the Nobel Prize for Literature in 2001. He holds honorary doctorates from Cambridge University and Columbia University in New York and honorary degrees from the universities of Cambridge, London, and Oxford. He died in August 2018. Now, among the other works that we might not have mentioned earlier, we have these important books like, most of them have been mentioned, The Mystic Masseur, The Suffrage of Elvira, Miggle Street, A House for Mr. Biswas, Mr. Stone and the Knight's Companion, The Mimic Men, A Flag on the Island, In a Free State, Gorillas, A Bend in the River, The Enigma of Arrival, Away in the World, Half a Life, The Night Watchman's Occurrence Book, and other comic inventions. This collection comprises The Suffrage of Elvira, Mr. Stone and the Knight's Companion, and A Flag on the Island. And in 2004, we have The Magic Seeds. Then, among the books of non-fiction, we have The Middle Passage, An Area of Darkness, The Loss of El Dorado, The Overcrowded Barracoon, India, A Wounded Civilization, A Congo Diary, The Return of Eva Peron and the Killings in Trinidad, Among the Believers, Finding the Center, A Turn in the South, India, A Million Mutinies Now, Beyond Belief, Between Father and Son, The Writer in the World, A Writer's People, The Mask of Africa, Grief, A Writer Reckons with Loss. Now, apart from these writings, he is also a coveted writer who has won a number of international awards and honors throughout the world. So, to name just a few, we saw him winning the Man Booker Prize as a nominee. He was in 2009. He won the Nobel Prize in 2001, David Cohn British Literature Prize in 93, Booker Prize in 1971, W. H. Smith Literary Prize in 68, Hawthornden Prize in 64, Somerset Waugham Award in 61, and Mail on Sunday, and John Llewellyn Rhys Prize in 58. So this was a brief introduction of V.S.Naipaul, the famous essayist and novelist, and we're going to be talking about his essay, 7 Rules of Writing, in the coming video. Thank you for now.